I want to welcome everyone here. My name is Steve Rubenstein. I'm President and Chief Executive Officer of the Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce, the sponsor of this annual event for the Mayor's State of the City. This city has a lot to be grateful for. In these tough economic times, when we hear so much doom and gloom throughout Southern California, we see a little bright spot. That's the Conejo Valley, the city of Thousand Oaks in particular. And we need to ask ourselves why this is. I certainly can say that the Daily News asked me that very question just yesterday. A reporter who's from outside our area, and the reporter asked me why we have an increase in sales tax of some 7% when others around us throughout Southern California are experiencing a downturn. Is it an attitude? I said, yeah, it's an attitude. Is it the desire of local people to shop locally? Yes, it's that desire. But I said more so, it was the formation of this city nearly 30 years ago and its founding fathers who looked at our community, laid it out in such a way that we were able to project prosperity in a well-balanced, well-organized community. And for that, we need to applaud those who came before us, who allowed this well-organized growth. And we need to recognize that as we go into the next century and complete what we have now. It's for that reason that we called all of you together to go over the accomplishments of the last 9 months of the last administration. And it's for that reason we should give thanks to this city and all of you who make it up. And heading up our Chamber of Commerce, the representative of business in our community, is Jill Lederer, who is our outgoing chairman of the board and will complete her term October 1st. Jill will introduce the head table. Jill?
Thank you very much. It falls to me to introduce some people to you that need no introduction. To my immediate left, we have our mayor of the city of Thousand Oaks, Judy Lazar. To my immediate right, we have Mayor Pro Tem Lois Sina. To her right, we have our city manager, Mr. Grant Brimhall. And I'll turn it back over now to Steve Rubenstein, the CEO and President of the Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce.
And at this time, it's time for the introduction of dignitaries. John Thies, where are you, John? John, please stand. Senator Wright's office. Tab Berg from Assemblyman Now Takasugi. And from Assemblywoman Paula Boland's office, Scott Wilkes. Where are you? There he is. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to reintroduce our chairman of the board, Jill Lederer, for this year from the Chamber of Commerce. Jill?
It's my pleasure to be able to introduce our mayor to you today because she's someone I have tremendous respect for. She has shown tremendous dedication to the city of Thousand Oaks and has always exhibited the qualities of fairness, open-mindedness, and a sense of humor. She has served on too many committees to mention here, but some of the highlights of her years in Thousand Oaks include serving as Executive Director of Senior Concerns, President of AAUW, Director of the Oakleaf Festival, and also Conejo Future Foundation. She's been a chair and member of the Planning Commission, Mayor Pro Tem, and of course today she is the mayor of our city of Thousand Oaks. It's my honor to present to you our Mayor, Judy Lazar.
Thank you, Jill. I wanted to ask one question before I began. This piece of wood that I'm standing on right here looks an awful lot like a trapdoor. Assure me that it's not, and if I say the wrong thing, I'm not going to go sink down through the ground. I'd like to thank Jill and Steve and the Chamber for hosting this annual event, and it's really a pleasure to be here. All of you have done a tremendous job this year, and I think we've had a lot of cooperation. The Chamber has really grown. Even though the times are tough, its involvement in the community has continued, and I think that's really something to be credited. The time has really flown by. I cannot believe that 9 months has come and gone, and I want to tell you before I start on the other comments that I really leave the job as mayor reluctantly. Having a 9-month term gave me one of the best opening lines anyone could have. I used to say, "Hi, I'm Judy Lazar, and I'm your mayor for 9 months, and no, I'm not pregnant." I can't do that anymore because the term is up. This is billed as the State of the City message, and when I look at the city of Thousand Oaks, I see that exciting things have been happening. The ongoing construction of the Civic Arts Plaza is just one of those things. The citizens' review of the general plan. The growing partnership, as I indicated, between the Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce and the city in support of local business. And of course, the Broom Ranch. The Broom Ranch acquisition. A lot of the credit for the state of the city goes to city staff. And I have to start out by saying something very positive about them and about the outstanding management that is headed by our city manager, Grant Brimhall. I truly appreciate the work that he does and that our city staff does, both in the city manager's office and all of the departments of the city. They provide the services that we, the residents of Thousand Oaks, really get to enjoy. They work long hours, they do a tremendous amount of research, they give us unheralded amounts of background information so that we can make final decisions with lots of background. The council, though, is responsible for setting the city's priorities, and we have to take the heat on that. I'd like to review today some of our recent accomplishments in terms of 3 things: in terms of meeting the needs of residents, in terms of meeting the needs of local businesses, and in terms of meeting citywide cultural needs. First and foremost, in the minds of all council members, are the needs of our citizens. These range from adequate housing to open space preservation, from economic growth to crime prevention. This year, the council has presided over many major accomplishments. The one thing that I take special pride in is this city's track record in preserving natural open space, the ring of open space surrounding Thousand Oaks. Most of you know that 1/3 of the city of Thousand Oaks, 1/3 of our 57 square miles, is in permanent open space, some 20,000 acres. At the beginning of this year, we were faced with the prospect of the Broom Ranch being sold for future development. This was the prospectus that was put out: Broom Ranch Auction. Through efforts that I spearheaded, several agencies, the city, the Conejo Recreation and Park District, the National Park Service, came together in cooperation to purchase this pristine area. No one agency could do it alone. Together, we achieved a major goal. The property was purchased through the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy to be jointly owned and maintained by the city, the Park District, the Park Service. The Broom Ranch will be available for our children and for our grandchildren. Escrow opened last Thursday. What a legacy. I can't think of a better one. Not enough room up here. When I became mayor, one special goal was to encourage community involvement. It's something that this community has taken a great deal of pride in, and I think it's something that we need always to continue to foster. I'd like to give you an example of one way that was done this year, through the process of the city's general plan review. Since last year, the General Plan Review Committee has spent hours gathering and evaluating residents' concerns on how our citizens envision Thousand Oaks' future. The review process included a series of public forums. As part of the final forum, materials were created listing nearly 70 land use and circulation issues. A final citizen survey helped to assess community input. These surveys are still available. The entire packet of information is here, and it is also available in our libraries, both the Thousand Oaks and the Newbury Park Library. It's also available at the Chamber of Commerce. And I would really urge all of you, if you haven't filled one of these out, if you haven't taken a look at it, you have an opportunity to have an impact on decision-making as regards the future of our general plan. It's important that you respond. As chair of the General Plan Committee and which is charged with putting these visions into formal recommendations, I'm really pleased to be able to say that we are reaching the final stage. Recommendations on land use and circulation issues will probably go to the council in October, at which time the public hearing process will begin. During this time, during the public review process, we will be working on some new elements such as a financial, an air quality, and a forestry element. Another way that I tried to foster citizen input this year and communication was through the use of study sessions. On the third Tuesday of the month, we have had a study session on various topics. I think that the process has been very well received by the community, and I've heard a lot of positive community input regarding it. The sessions were at times intense. They provided detailed information on topics that are really too lengthy to be covered at times at a council meeting, although some of you may think that our council meetings go long enough as it is. Among the items covered were the city's financial statement and the capital improvement program. Citywide transportation issues were another topic. The Jance Mall renovation plans were presented at a study session. The Amgen expansion plans were also presented, as were the plans for the Civic Arts Plaza. The Hill Canyon Recreational Facility was another study session topic. This particular topic led to studies, which are now underway, to survey the potential for a golf course. Some of you golfers may be pleased to hear that. Also to survey the potential for the needed equestrian facilities and for other recreational activities appropriate for this open space, beautiful open space area. Another example of community involvement this year was evidenced this past summer through the formation of the Committee of 100. Actually, it turned out to be a Committee of 107. In Thousand Oaks, we don't do things in small ways, we do them big. This committee was created to develop recommendations regarding the private side of the Civic Arts Plaza. Over a 2-month period, these volunteers met in a spirit of cooperation to brainstorm, evaluate, and prioritize options for this site. Recurring recommendations from the committee indicated that the property should be pedestrian-oriented and that it should incorporate activities for both day and evening, confirming the Civic Arts Plaza site as a central focal point for our city. The positive results generated by this committee indicate that despite widely varying viewpoints, and they truly did vary in this group of 107, we can all come together as a community in creating the heart of our city. The committee's recommendations will serve as a goal for the council. As a committee of 107, these individuals have expressed a willingness to continue to be utilized for additional input on community issues. I hope we will take advantage of that willingness. Another thing that occurred recently was that the council adopted a comprehensive policy and program for the creation of city gateways. This is an item that I brought to the council for discussion about a year ago, more than that, and we have finally taken action to decide on some policies and standards. The new policies will impact our visitors' first impressions of our community and provide priorities for capital improvement projects. Among the design features identified for community gateways are the placement of specimen oak trees, city identification signage, and complementary landscaping and lighting. We all love the city gateway at Hillcrest and Lynn Road, and we all would love to see other gateways like that recreated or created at significant entry points. With regard to citizen needs, another item that is always of concern is crime prevention. Earlier this year, the FBI ranked us as the second safest city in the United States. Unfortunately, shortly after that announcement, our community experienced an outbreak, a shocking outbreak really, of gang violence. Such violence will not be tolerated by this city. We will continue to reinforce our efforts to keep gang activities and our neighborhoods and our city safe. It is not a simple thing to do. As you all know, numbers are not always reflective of the way we feel, and so our efforts have to be redoubled. Knowing that graffiti often attracts gang violence and gang activity, I recommended several steps earlier this year to crack down further on that problem, and the council took action. For example, an ordinance is now in place banning the sale of spray paints or wide tip markers to minors without an adult's permission and presence. At the suggestion of a neighborhood watch participant, we have worked out an agreement with Ventura County Probation Department so that youths who are convicted of graffiti vandalism can be required to come back to their own turf, in this case to Thousand Oaks, and make restitution by cleaning up graffiti here in Thousand Oaks. My feeling is that the punishment should fit the crime. No more probationary slap on the wrist, but something that will make them realize what they have done. I recently called for citizens to volunteer in graffiti removal. Public Works in our community does a wonderful job of cleaning up, but many residents want to participate. Response has been very positive, and training should begin soon. In addition, the city has sponsored a graffiti information reward program since 1990, providing financial rewards to individuals giving information leading to the arrest and filing of charges against graffiti vandals. And I'm told that we are going to be awarding the first reward shortly. The Las Casitas neighborhood is a neighborhood in our community that has been plagued with problems. Once it was a cauldron of antisocial behavior, but today that neighborhood is affecting change. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about it because I think it exemplifies what residents can do. The Las Casitas Committee, supported by council members and residents, has promoted aggressive attention from the police department and from code enforcement. And they have worked for street improvements in their neighborhood. Through the active involvement of their residents and the city, the area has become a mini community where people care about what happens in their neighborhood. An active neighborhood watch program there has elevated community involvement and provided yet another stimulus to enhance the area. At the same time, the city has actively been engaged in the development of a down payment assistance program for use with FHA mortgages to help the tenants at Las Casitas become homeowners. They don't have to move, they don't have to go anywhere. They can buy and live in their own housing instead of being renters. Also, the city has set aside some $97,000 of community development block grant funds for the Las Casitas neighborhood public safety improvements and revitalization. We want to be a part of helping residents keep their community safe. Housing is important in this community. We all enjoy living here because we enjoy the kinds of housing that we have available. But a variety of housing is important in a balanced community. This year, the city has helped 22 first-time homebuyers through a down payment assistance program. We have given approval for the construction of the Area Housing Authority's 50-unit low-rent family housing on Hillcrest Drive, something of which I am truly proud. We have assisted many mansions' efforts to purchase and rehabilitate the 100-unit Shadow Hills apartment complex on Wilbur Road, allowing it to be converted into lower-cost housing. This was a partnership effort between the city and a nonprofit organization. You know, it was recently my pleasure to be the moderator of a panel at a League of California Cities conference where Thousand Oaks, to my surprise, because I did not know this, was cited as an innovator in the public and nonprofit collaboration to provide affordable housing. We will continue to look creatively for solutions that allow us to meet the housing needs of all the residents of our community. Another area that we always need to be concerned with as council is the needs of the business community, and I probably couldn't get out of here without saying something about the business community, or they'd probably never have us back. The chamber would
That's why we're on both sides.
run us out of town, right. During my tenure as mayor, we've seen many positive signals, I think, attesting to our community's continued economic health in very difficult times. Several large businesses are undertaking major expansion or renovation plans, including Amgen, Blue Cross, the Oaks Mall, and the Jans Mall. For example, at a recent study session, Amgen submitted its specific plan to the city, charting that company's development over the next 15 years. I think we all know who Amgen is, but for the record, let me just elaborate a little bit. Within 5 years, Amgen, who is already a major pharmaceutical company in the United States, a Fortune 500 company, the largest pharmaceutical company, I understand, will add an additional 1.1 million square feet of office and research space to its facilities in the Rancho Caneo Industrial Park. They have chosen to stay here in Thousand Oaks, not to go elsewhere. They will the thanks go to Amgen, although I think we have helped to expedite that decision-making. They will accommodate 4,000 employees in 5 years. That's an addition of more than 2,000 people. Those 2,000 jobs provide expanded employment opportunities for our residents, the people who live here. At another session, the Jans Mall Corporation unveiled renovation plans for that mall at one of our, as I said, at one of our monthly study sessions. The plan calls for increasing that mall's commercial area from approximately 290,000 square feet to nearly 430,000 square feet. Jans officials listened at the study session to community input, and they are working to bring together the right mix of retail operations, including things like Mervyn's, a state-of-the-art food court, new restaurants with expansive sit-down dining areas, and new movie theaters. I think it will be a welcome addition and improvement to a vital area of the community. As anyone who shops at the Oaks Mall, and as I have to admit that I do shop at the Oaks Mall. I am an ardent shopper when I have the time. I probably have more time now. I've been away from the Oaks this year. My husband says it's great. I haven't had time to spend money. But I plan to be there because the Oaks Mall is in the final stages of a major $7 million facelift, featuring upgraded entries, new staircases, improved disabled access, and a glass-encased elevator at the mall center. I am proud that a majority of the council supported these improvements. The Oaks Mall grand reopening is scheduled this weekend. I'll be there, and I hope all of you will be as well. This year, the city has increased its partnership efforts with the Conejo Valley Chamber of Commerce to support area businesses. The Chamber's Economic Development Committee, on which I serve as a council representative, has been instrumental in bringing business concerns to light. A promotional video currently in production highlighting Thousand Oaks as a unique business and residential location can be attributed to this Chamber government partnership. Chamber cooperation has also been helpful on planning and land use issues. Chamber members and the Chamber are involved in a variety of ways, and particular thanks go to the Chamber's chair, who served in facilitating a compromise solution to the mobile car wash issue. Something difficult to do, and it was nice to have someone else volunteer to be the facilitator on that. Thank you, Jill. Since January, the city's Blue Ribbon Economic Development Committee, which I chair, has developed and proposed several projects to assist our local business community. That committee and staff have discussed ways to implement a business assistance department, helping businesses in various ways. Those recommendations will soon be forthcoming. At my suggestion, a few months ago, the committee sponsored a quarterly business breakfast. And we've now had 2 of them. These early morning meetings geared to specific business areas have promoted solutions as well as dialogue. The results from the first business breakfast, which focused on the Thousand Oaks Boulevard and the small businesses that are located along the boulevard, brought forward several recommendations and actions. One was the creation of a business sign task force to review our sign ordinance and provide recommendations on adjusting signage requirements to assist business visibility in difficult locations. Another was the creation of a graffiti award pool for private businesses, as well as an emphasis on the continued involvement of the Thousand Oaks Police Department in providing crime watch advice and assistance to area businesses, something of real concern to our business community. Another recommendation was the initiation of a study to develop options to increase the number of trees and thus improve the aesthetics along Thousand Oaks Boulevard. Last week we had a second quarterly breakfast, and this breakfast focused on the industrial business community of our city. I think it was very productive, and we will be bringing forward recommendations from that as well. I think we need to continue an ongoing dialogue with various sectors of the business community to let them know that we hear and respond to their concerns and their needs. This next item I think is truly interesting. Let me get it out. Brought some props. I think I'm a frustrated teacher. Another way that the city is responding to business concerns, this summer, staff streamlined the swimming pool permit process system. Paperwork which used to take hours and numerous visits to City Hall to complete. Get ready. Let me see if I can do this right. This is the paperwork for swimming pool permitting. Can now be handled with this. Not bad, not bad. Thanks go to all the staff members who participated in that. As you can see, the council is working with all the segments of our business to community to enhance services. All of these changes collaborate to maintain a healthy business economic community. I feel very strongly that as a no property tax city, sales tax is a major revenue source for Thousand Oaks, and we have to be very aware of that. These funds provided by sales tax and by employment provide dollars for a variety of programs and services that our community and our residents deserve and expect. Even during tough economic times, when sales tax revenues have fallen throughout the state, it is worth noting that Thousand Oaks sales tax revenues have increased, up 6.8% during 1992, according to last Saturday's LA Times, and continuing with an approximate 2% increase for the first quarter of 1993. Look around. Other cities around us have experienced declining sales tax. Other counties have done the same. We are working actively in a partnership with business, and it's paying off. City Council is also responding to our residents' expectations for community services in other ways. And as we set out 23 years ago in our general plan, very particularly in response to the need for cultural facilities. The teen and senior centers are part of the response to need for cultural facilities because they are a segment of that. They exemplify the city's support for all segments of the community and our partnership with the Canal Recreation and Park District in providing needed programs. This past June, when the community was faced with 4 high school graduations on the same evening and no place for the kids to go, the need for special activities for graduation was evident. The city moved into action. Our staff worked with the Park District, the school district, numerous local businesses, business owners, and concerned parents to sponsor a very special grad night. I congratulate the business community, which helped fund this event and provided prize opportunities for more than 200 teens. They enjoyed it, the community benefited. Our Thousand Oaks Library, or libraries, continue to offer outstanding services. We've all heard, I'm sure, of library cutbacks and closures that other agencies in this county have had to make. I'm proud to say that our library system has not suffered this same fate. We are fortunate that our city has been able to maintain funding for this vital community service. Let's keep it that way. And now I'd like to move on to another subject that is very dear to my heart. I left it towards the end. These past few months, the construction of the Civic Arts Plaza, our own jewel in the crown, as some have called it, has proceeded under budget and ahead of schedule, and that was one of my goals as mayor. Right now, the Civic Arts Plaza complex is more than 75% complete. 12 months from now, in October of 1994, the city will be in its, as Grant calls it, I think, our final resting place. The park at the Civic Arts Plaza will be landscaped. Use your imagination. And we will be celebrating the grand opening season for our Civic Auditorium and our Forum Theater. I'm excited. I am truly excited, and I hope all of you catch the fever. As the grand opening season approaches, community excitement really is growing. I can't tell you how many tours I've been on recently over at the Civic Arts Plaza, given for various groups and organizations who want to see what's going to be available. And I would like to take the opportunity to just let all of you know that tours are available given by the Alliance on Friday afternoons. You have an opportunity to see a unique building underway. Go look at it now, while it's still in the construction stage. Take your children, not little ones, but take your children. Let them see what an 1,800-seat theater looks like inside the skeleton of this building, which will serve regional community needs and local community needs. As a result of the excitement and as a result of the planning, of course, in Thousand Oaks, several new council and citizen committees are hard at work. CAFTPAC, what a name. The 10-member Civic Auditorium Forum Theater Performing Arts Commission, how's that for a mouthful, was created to be responsible for making policy and program recommendations for both theaters to the City Council. They met for the first time last week, and thank God, the first action they took was to recommend a new name. The Civic Theater Commission, much nicer. CTC, not to be confused with another CTC. And they have begun discussions on facility rental rates and potential performances. The Civic Arts Plaza grand opening and the city's 30th anniversary community planning committee was also recently established, another mouthful of a name with a great job and 150 enthusiastic members. That committee was announced about 4 months ago, and about 30 or 40 people indicated an interest. Every day, more people sign up, and every one of them is going to be utilized. To accomplish the task, the committee has divided into a number of subcommittees. I can't even count how many, I think probably 10 or 12 at least, and they are addressing all aspects of the grand opening. Opportunities for those interested in performing during the month-long grand opening festivities also exist. Community and professional entertainers are encouraged to submit proposals by October 1st. For information, contact the Civic Auditorium office at City Hall. A majority of our council has had the vision and the will to move ahead with this extraordinary project. As the building nears completion, it has renewed interest in the boulevard and generated comments from other communities who look with envy at our creative solutions. Solutions such as space planning and the decision to house the council chambers and a small state-of-the-arts theater in the same building and in the same place. As we all watch this imposing structure take place, the significance and the awareness of our accomplishment is generating awe and excitement. I hear it when I go to other parts of this county. People are asking, when does it open? I'm proud to tell them October '94. Endowment donations are on the rise, including financial gifts from individuals as well as major corporations. Just 3 weeks ago, the Jantz family, a long-time integral part of this community, really the founders almost, announced its support for the Civic Arts Plaza project to the tune of $250,000. The Alliance for the Arts is now nearly 2/3 of the way towards reaching its initial goal of $3 million. I am confident they will not only reach but exceed their goal by the time the auditorium opens in October. There have been numerous accomplishments this year, but there isn't enough time to tell you all about it, and frankly, I don't think you want to hear all about every one of them. But I need to touch very quickly on a few more. City ordinances have been drafted or adopted regarding street vendors, mobile businesses, nightclubs, and large family daycare operations. A strengthened no smoking ordinance will be considered. VCOG, the Ventura Council of Governments, was formally created to cooperatively work on a regional basis. It includes not only cities in Ventura County, but also the cities of Westlake Village and Agoura. And Santa Clarita is now showing interest as well. I think it is a hallmark for the kinds of planning that we must do regionally. DART, a disaster assistance response training, has initiated classes for community volunteers. The Sports Task Force continues to review options for the creation of community sports and recreational facilities. We've received national recognition from the National Arbor Day Foundation as Tree City, USA. Little things mean a lot sometimes. We continue to offer comprehensive recycling and waste reduction programs and sponsor business symposiums focusing on the efficient use and reuse of our resources. Our street improvement program continues, including traffic signal timing, synchronization really, on Thousand Oaks Boulevard, a new traffic signal at Moore Park and the 101 long needed and further improvements coming. The cul-de-sacing of Lynn Road at Potrero, and plans will soon begin for something that is truly exciting but a long-range project, and that is the undergrounding of utilities along Moore Park Road. The redevelopment project that provided auto mall landscaping along the freeway has just been completed. And Public Works is in the process of its initial conversion of its fleet to natural gas vehicles. The cable TV committees are working to ensure cable company compliance with franchise obligations and to monitor rates and customer service standards. In closing, as we look ahead, opportunities for community involvement will undoubtedly continue. It's important for citizens and business owners, residents and visitors to be able to voice their concerns. This kind of dialogue can make our city the best it can be. I would like to recommend the continuance of study sessions each month. I think they've been an important factor. These special meetings can provide comprehensive information for both the council and the community on important issues. In particular, I'd like to recommend that the council consider having a study session regarding the CLU master plan, which I think is scheduled to be completed by early next spring. I think this would be informative to the community as well as to the council. Well, as I noted earlier, I think that the state of the city is excellent. From my personal experience, I would like to just recount for you what I think this city looks like in one day. I had a really pleasant experience this past Saturday. I started out at 8 o'clock in the morning. I went over to the Human Services Building for the United Way Day of Caring. These are their shirts. More than 40 volunteers from throughout the community, from businesses in the community, were there to paint the offices of the social service agencies that are in this building, truly making it a human services center. At 9 o'clock in the morning, I went over and joined hundreds of children, parents, and coaches for the Caneo flag football opening ceremonies. Families are of prime importance here in Thousand Oaks, a fact that has been long recognized by our city. At 10 o'clock, it was a busy day. At 10 o'clock, I took part in the ribbon cutting for the 2 new ASO soccer fields, AYSO, at Caneo Creek Park. I remembered when my sons, and I won't tell you how old they are, began playing soccer in 1972. Soccer was played on 3 school fields by a few hundred children, coached by parents who didn't even know how the game was played. Today, over 2,000 participate in that region's soccer. ASO volunteers have collaborated with government agencies and businesses to achieve creative solutions. Through their efforts, today the Park District operates 20 fields for our young soccer athletes. The city and the community members are working on other creative solutions to develop needed recreational facilities, as well as something long overdue, school auditoriums. That evening, last Saturday, you can clap, I don't care, I still believe we need those auditoriums, and I will work for them. Saturday evening, still the same day, I had the opportunity to attend an event that I think reflects the history of our community. It was the 28th Annual Fiesta del Triunfo, sponsored by the Historical Society. As I said that evening, it was not too formal and not too casual. It included old-timers as well as residents who are new to our area. It was held for the first time, I can't believe it was the first time, at the lovely Stagecoach Inn, with a mountain backdrop adding to the ambiance, making it truly, I thought, a Caneo affair. Those 4 events for me reflected the state of our city. It is one that includes concerned, caring residents. It is a family-oriented community built on a strong business base in a beautiful natural setting. I have appreciated and enjoyed the opportunity to serve this community as mayor for the last 9 months. I'm really looking forward to having a little more personal time, to spending some money at the Oaks and other shops in town. Yeah. Roger isn't here. He probably wouldn't be clapping. And I'm also looking forward to devoting time to new projects that will benefit the residents of our community. I thank you for the opportunity to serve you as mayor.
It's going to be your turn next.
Thank you.